Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you a very cool module that I just put together, and this is the Timo Rozendal FMP. This is a DIY kit that I put together. I just randomly saw it on Thonk and read the description, thought it looked cool, and figured I'd give it a shot. This isn't sponsored by them. They didn't send it to me for free or anything. I spent my own money on it. I just put it together and it's so much fun that I really just wanted to do a video highlighting it. So in today's video, you can see I'm only going to be using two modules. The shock mount battering ram just to hold down a steady kick. And then we're going to be making all kinds of percussive sounds with the FMP. Should note too that I filmed myself putting this thing together. I'm going to put that video up on my Patreon page if you're interested in getting a little bit of help building it. I also give away DIY modules once a month, and since I'm enjoying this one so much, this one's going to stay for me, but I'm probably going to build another one soon to give away on my Patreon page. So if you want to be a part of those giveaways, make sure to sign up to tier 3 on my Patreon page. Check out the page for the build video, and that can help you build it if you want to give it a shot. And with that out of the way, let's jump into what it is, what it does, and what it sounds like. So it's using a Yamaha YM2413 FM chip, and it's controlled by a microcontroller to make those percussive sounds. I think that those chips were used in some of the older game consoles. I think that's what it said in the description, and that's why I decided to go ahead and check it out. There's two modes. There's a tone mode, which uses that FM, that creates that FM sound, and then there's a drum mode. There's two states there in the background. There's an A and a B, and you can switch between those. You can crossfade between those using this knob, and that is also CV controllable, which I'll show you. For now, let's just make some sounds with the with one of the states. They work equally. So if I go ahead and play a rhythmic sequence, I'm going to trigger it. This is what it sounds like. This is just one of the states. So it's a 2-operator FM synth voice. It's got a carrier signal right here, which you can adjust the tuning of right there. And then it's got a modifier over here. It's pretty straightforward. Decay on both. There's a feedback, which basically gives you noise. Yeah, and that's how it works. So those are the types of sounds you can make out of it. Great FM stuff. Makes those deep sounds as well as just the high pitched, almost like metallic sounds. Really wide range. Now what makes this cool is that you do have those two states. So how it works is if you swap over to the B state, it will copy over, it'll overwrite the B state with everything from channel 1. Now let's go ahead and program just kind of like a deep kind of tone for channel A. That sounds fine. And so when we switch over to B, it copies it. So now if I turn over to B, it stays the same. And as I mentioned, this is a crossfader. It goes between A and B. So all the way to the left is is A, and all the way to the right is B. So right now it's the same. Now if I want to, so now I'm going to tweak the right side. Okay, so that's fine for right now. Now, if I want to switch over, because if I flip it over, it'll overwrite the other one. I actually emailed them about that because I think it would be better functionality if when you swapped it over, it stayed at the current state. And you can do that. You just have to go to the middle and press the button and flip over. And when you do that, notice it's blinking. So now you can tweak stage A, and whenever you cross by a value that it was originally set, then the button will, or the knob will do something, but otherwise it won't. So if I flip back over to A, and that's how you have to tweak it. But so now I've got two sounds. This is the A sound, and this is the B sound. And you'll notice as I kind of go between them, it makes some really cool tones. And that's where the CV stuff comes in, because when you modulate that knob, and what I've done is taken out of my sequencer, I just took like a steady, or I just made up a sequence. At first I thought it was because I could actually change the tones. So I just made up basically a random sequence that spanned a few octaves. And so it's stepped voltage. So every single step, every single trigger will have its own voltage. So it'll kind of jump between the two states and jump between kind of in between the two states. And this is what it sounds like. That's pretty cool. I'm going to add in my battering ram just to, you know, a 4 to the floor kind of thing, just to add some grounding to it. You see, it just sounds amazing, and it's so much fun to play with. Really, the only complaint that I have about it is that, like, if I wanted to go mess with the B state now, and I sometimes I accidentally flip it over, and then all of a sudden it overwrites it. So you have to, you know, be careful and flip it to the middle, then press the button, then flip it back over. Now I can change the B settings. So once again, that might be some sort of easy fix in the firmware, and I've emailed them to ask them if I can make this mode the default mode and the overwrite mode where you push it and flip it. If they get back to me, I'm going to go ahead and write that in the description that they got back to me. So if you're interested in that, check it out below. Fingers crossed. See what I mean? You can just play with that for hours. It's super awesome. Anyways, that gives you a basic idea of what it does. There's also, if you click down to drum mode, you can do the same things. You know what? Let's actually experiment with that. We'll go through drum mode. So I'm going to flip down to drum mode and we'll overwrite everything. And so now this is what we have. If I turn this down, I'm going to take out the modulation. Now, down below the knobs, you'll see in parentheses, they have bass drum level, snare drum level, hi-hat level, tom level, and cymbal level. So let's go ahead and turn everything down. So that's the trigger for the bass drum. Now, if I do the snare, let's flip over to state B, and we'll turn this one down, and we'll turn this one up. So now we have, if I turn to state B, and actually let's add in some hi-hats. So if I were to plug in the same sequence and triggering that I had done before, let's see what that sounds like with the modulation. It gives you some great results. To me, I mean, that sounds pretty cool too, but to me the other mode is just so much more useful, the tone mode. But realistically speaking, with just the tone mode, I think that this module would have felt very complete to me. So they could have even taken that bonus mode entirely out and I would have still loved it. So the only other thing that I wish it had would, maybe have it be a little bit bigger with some modulation points for these parameters, but as it is, it's just awesome, and it's very cheap too. I think it was under 100 pounds, so about 120 bucks US, and very simple to put together. Like I said, check out my Patreon video if you want to check that out. All right, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the module. I'll put links in the descriptions and everything. So thank you so much.